Hey, welcome back. I am really excited to draw today, but in the spirit of full disclosure, I have not visited my sketchbook for a couple days. I have visited this, which is my little book that I keep in my bag. So it's just like little sketches. They're not even all usually from the same day, but these two are from yesterday. So I'm gonna kind of use, I think, this one as kind of just a guide. So just so you know that I'm not, flying off the seat of my pants today. I have a guide. It's my guide, but I am using it. So I'm gonna do my markers today, and I'm gonna sketch with this pencil. I totally forgot I had these. Do we have a brand? I don't know what that says, but it's like rainbow. So I have 3 of them. One of them is this like kind of pinks, and then I have blues, and then I have one that's green, like mostly greens, but I don't know where that is. But it just gives like variation in color for the undersketch, and I have been really liking it lately. With the loss of my peach freaking pencil, which still makes me so mad, I cannot find it. It's disappeared. It makes me really mad. Anyway, here we go. I'm gonna start with her head, I think. Her body. One thing that really super helped me, I talk about my figure drawing class a lot, but a huge thing that I walked away from it with was the shape of like the rib cage. We had to draw it like in super detailed for one of our assignments, but it's really helpful because the way that the rib cage moves is, really indicative of the way that the body is facing. So that's been a really big help. So this is the shape from the side. It kind of leans forward, bulbous on the back, and then kind of comes to almost like an egg point at the bottom. So I will say this pencil frustrates me when it gets on the yellow because I can't see it. And I don't like that very much. So I usually just turn it over and find a better line. Okay. So I have her shoulder kind of going back, which I really like, and I want to do that. And I made this a little bit too big. So I'm going to erase this. And just get it in a little bit more realistically. There we go. Shoulder. So her neck is going to connect, like at her, where her, like, where your neck goes. And then you're going to have like this little space of your shoulder, the top of your shoulder, right? So those like little things, we just need to make sure we're minding to leave space for body parts. And that will go a long way to make it feel, have a touch of realism. I mean, obviously this is like a character. It's, not realistic proportions. I mean, look at this ear. But it has to have a touch of realism when it's people. Otherwise, they start leaning into aliens or, things that don't necessarily have human proportions. And if that's what you want, then that's freaking cool, but you got to know how to like get there, in my opinion. Okay, so there's that, looking good. See, and look how pretty, like you can see all the rainbow colors. It's so fun. I love it. Okay, so she had her bust kind of facing this way. I brought her back in and her arm out that way, which I really like. I'm just gonna cap that off. I don't really want to draw an arm right now. Body. And then her other shoulder is gonna be there-ish, but we're not really gonna see it. We just have to kind of know it's there because of where her bust will connect, right? Like in her armpit right there. And this armpit, we want to make sure we have sort of this, because her arm is moving back. So you'll see part of her body right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna do, I like this, I did like a little tutu, which I really like. This is really cute. Okay. And let's give her some hair. Okay. I don't know. I've been struggling with this part of their heads lately. I don't know. I figured it out. I like found a really good formula to kind of like get the back of the head in, and then I don't know what happened. It stopped working for some reason. Okay. I think that's really cute. So now I'm gonna go with another pencil. But before I do that, I actually want to kind of work backwards a little bit because I'm going to do this like a painting. So I'm going to fill it in solid with color as opposed to just using the color for like the shadows or whatever. I'm going to fill it in and then build it up. So I want to decide on my colors before I even do that, which I didn't. Okay, grab my color chart, and I just want to decide like a theme necessarily. And I sort of am feeling like I want to do her in pinks and then maybe like a fun like green background. So I'm gonna grab my pinks and just kind of know what I'm doing before I go. And then I'm gonna also base the color of my pencil off that decision. So I was deciding between either this coral and this, what's this, Santorini Dreams. And I could do both. The blue might be cool also. This coral is gonna lend itself to warming up the color and sort of assisting the pinks that I wanna use on her, sort of be a little bit more light. So I'm gonna do that color. And then I just wanna pick out, I wanna go really, 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 really light. And my biggest downfall is that I always wanna start bright. And in alcohol markers, you have to start at the lightest, and build up. So I am gonna start with this one. And then maybe I'll do this like 503, which is right here. And then, so we'll have this one and then that one. And then, well, we'll just go from there. I definitely want to use this though. This green. I love this green. I don't know. All of a sudden, I've just been putting it everywhere. And where is it? Okay, well, I'm gonna address that in a minute because I can't. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so let's do the rest of this sketch. So I always like to start with her lash line and then get in the darks, the nostrils, the corners of her mouth. And this honestly isn't much darker than some of the darks that are in here. So, which is good. It's not gonna like, you know, add that much more color. It's just going to really kind of define it and tie it down and make it so you can really see exactly what's happening. A lot of the hair that I like to do sort of defies gravity. So like this right here, right? Like it would kind of lean on her face and then gravity would take it, but it wouldn't come back out like that in real life, right? So like I'm kind of creating this like magical world where all the hair like floats, right? Which is cool. I love it. This flowing hair, almost like they're underwater, or like in space, like zero gravity, you know. And I really like it. And noticing little things like that and kind of pointing them out to myself and then pointing them out to you, my friends, has really helped me. I have noticed little like cornerstones of my practice that are really important. I've noticed them once I've started explaining them, and it's really cool. It's been a really fun experience. And to that end, I talk to myself a lot. I mean, I'm just kind of like a general like mumbler, so it's not hard for me to sit here and talk. But you know, if it is hard for you to sit there and talk, maybe you should, you know, try to practice when you're drawing under your breath. You don't have to say it out loud. You don't have to say it to anyone, but just try to make a note, make a verbal out loud note about what's going on your page, what you're happy with, what you think is happening, and what you want to embrace. It really helps and really makes a big difference in how you perceive your own sketchbook practice, because I can tell you that I spent a lot of time being really like, not only like ungrateful, but just like almost resentful because my sketchbook wasn't the way that I wanted it to be, right? But like, when I look back now at my sketchbooks, I mean, yeah, sure, the proportions of the body aren't great. I made a lot of mistakes as far as like building characters and stuff like that while I was still learning, but so much of the colors and the compositions and stuff is just so organic, and it's so it feels so like raw and uninhibited, and it's so fun to go back and visit those. And I just like, I owe past Elisa an apology. I really do. Because I spend a lot of time being very judgmental, and when you go back with fresh eyes, it totally changes. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort to be more appreciative of the sketchbook that I have right now, as it is right now, even if it doesn't always make me happy. But my sketchbook has been making me very happy, like a lot. I've had a very long streak of just feeling very fulfilled by my sketchbook, which is lucky because it's certainly not always like that. Okay, so now that I have kind of tied that down a little bit, except you know what? I'm going to just darken that circle up just a titchy touch, just so I don't lose that shape. Okay, so I'm going to start with my lightest. I'm going to fill her all in, but I'm going to be conscious about kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going to go with what I know for sure would be opaque, which is obviously her skin, her body, not her hair, and not this tutu. So I'm just going to kind of do that part. And I'm following the shapes generally. This bottom layer is going to be so inconsequential once the rest is on top that it's not terribly important. This is kind of just your base. Like if you're painting, it's kind of just like priming your canvas, right? Okay, so there's that. So now I know for sure that this hair would be opaque because it's on her head. Maybe that. We can give her some like dark under here and under there maybe, and then the rest just want to like be, I don't know what the word is, selective, I guess, about where you're putting down your color. I'm gonna do the whole outer edge so we have sort of a container for this tutu, and then we can, because for this tutu I do want some white to still be in there, whereas like here I don't really care too much, and the little white that I do want back, I'm gonna use my paint marker. If you don't have a paint marker or whatever, just maybe plan out where you might want white. So maybe the whites of her eyes, I didn't have to just cover those. I could be a little bit more careful, but Okay, so that's the first one, the first layer. So now I'm going to go to my next, which is this 503. So it's not terribly darker, if you can see, but it's going to make a big difference. Okay, so I'm going to go hit the darkest darks, which will be her lash line, her nostrils, the corners of her mouth, under her jaw, and then we can do in her ear and do the rest of those. So, and I always use this other side unless I'm doing like tiny little details that really should be smaller. For shadows and things like that, I always use this chunky side. It helps avoid the ability to make things perfect, and so after a while I stopped kind of trying to make it perfect with this. I kind of have embraced the chunky, the lines aren't gonna perfectly line up, and I am fine with that. So there's that. I'm actually gonna do like her lids. And then just do a little in there. We'll do under here, under her arm for sure. Here. Okay. I don't want to do anything to that shoulder to bring any more attention to it. You can see the line, but I'm just going to leave it at that. So this side is the dark side. So I'm going to hit that a little bit. We'll get that on the edge. Okay. Oh, maybe this. Yeah. Hit that. Don't want to do that. So now down here, I'm just going to kind of maybe do the same thing, but make less marks here. Let's see, I'm thinking. I want to do, see, and with this like edge, I can get a mix of thick and thin lines. Yeah, I don't even know if I want to do anything else. We'll just do that. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, cool. So now I want to do something to separate the colors in her face from the colors on everything else, so it sort of like reads the skin. So I want to get some orange or corally. Oh no, see this blank. I don't know why I think that's funny. It just wore off like a day after I had it, so the marker's just blank, but it's like one of my favorites. All right. So see, this totally changes. The color looks completely different mixed with these than it does right there. So it's just something to like always kind of keep in mind that that's gonna change. I'm gonna do her lips in this color. Okay. And then, should we do this? I don't know. Maybe I'll do this under here, just right there, because it's still on her head. Okay, so that's kind of her skin. It did dry a little bit, so it does look a little bit closer to the color, but still different. So now let's do maybe like a really maybe let's just go all the way into like red. So I'm gonna do this 317. It's sort of like orange based versus purple based, if you can see the difference in those two. So, yeah. I wanna do this. I'm gonna do this time. I'm gonna go with the lines this time because I'm gonna use it as almost like a liner. So I'm just gonna hit some lines, not all of them, because I don't want it to look like I just like grabbed a pen and did this, right? Just maybe like finer details, maybe what you might think of putting in black or in, you know, your darkest color or whatever. Even though I don't know if I'm gonna have this be the darkest color. I have yet to decide. And then I think I'll just like do right there, like exactly where her jaw would meet her neck, not this chin that pokes out and not there that goes up there. Okay. and then I'm gonna just really reinforce this tutu with these thin lines. Whoa, look at that. Okay, cute, so cute. And then her hair, I'm just gonna grab this, well, maybe either a 605 or 607. So they're pretty close, but let's just start with the lighter one and see what happens. Oh yeah, I like it. Oh my gosh, how fun. Even though I'm filling in this big shape with this marker, I'm still trying to use those like hair strokes, you know, that are kind of quick and that kind of change direction. You don't want to suddenly just turn into this like clunky lines, right? You kind of want it to stay all together as much as possible. And then I really like this a lot, you guys. Oh boy. So I actually think I'm just gonna change the color for shirt. I was gonna do a background and have her be all pink, but something needs to happen because this is sort of separated from this, which is good because it's the tutu, but there's a little bit of a disparity, what's that word? I don't know. We'll just fill this in. Ooh, yeah. Okay. And then I do want to add some of this orange in here. I said that was going to be for her skin, but I changed my mind. Okay. That'll be good, I think. So now I'm going to put like a little dot, not a dot, but like a circle, almost like a, you know, like a makeup circle, like a cartoon makeup circle. Do one of those. I like that. Maybe we'll add this to her lips as well. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna grab this red and do these bottom lashes. Those are a little straighter than I probably would have liked, but that's fine. Good. Good, 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 good. I love it. So now what I think I'll do is just go back with maybe this 605 and put the kind of darks back in this shirt. We just kind of lost them because the green was a little bit darker than the pink that was originally down there. Okay, that's fine. Cool. So now I think the last-ish few things I'm gonna do will be these pens. And I'm gonna do this blue one. This is my Flare knockoff, my Special Precious Babies. I don't know, the colors turned out a little weirder than I kind of thought. And this neck, I didn't even realize how long that was. It's fun, I like it. I like it a lot. Probably did it long because this one's long. That's probably why that happened. Okay. This is really good. I'm gonna make her eyes a little darker and do some freckles. I have a lot of freckles, so I really like drawing freckles. I think I'm gonna separate this part of her face just because I had this piece of hair coming right there and it just sort of felt like it came out of nowhere because it was such a darker line compared to the other, so I just filled that in. All right, I think I'm done. I love it. That was so fun. Thanks for being with me. This was so fun. Give this process a try. Just always remember, alcohol markers, you work lightest to darkest. Always, always, always. So give it a try. Let me know how it goes. Tag me on Instagram so I can see your work. It's @byElisaJakins. And then I will see you next time. Bye.